My name is Patrick Culliton, and I'm going to read some poems from my first full-length collection, Sam's Teeth, and I'm very excited to be here. I grew up on the street, and the South Euclid Library was my first library growing up. These are from a longer poem called Hornet Homily. Cow of sleep, take my arm, sponge me across the sky's filthy countertop. Close these looking balls, friend. Force me to knit the toothy threads of hours. Preach to me from your garden of paper. Cow of sleep, unfasten this brain belt. Turn off this pig music. Fill the room with fat, white quiet. Inject me with December and let me spread. A lake. The metalhead next door gave his birdhouse the business with a Louisville slugger. I struggle with rowboat puzzles, wishing seats for every letter. Now I see his lady won't get one. I see she isn't map fluent, standing at the screen. She doesn't adhere to the time limit. She's C. I go from sympathy to wanting to bed her and back to the passing dizzies. My glass has a slight rise in the lip, impeding my true purpose. To drink and rough you out a course for sleeping. Slow red monsters and tilted ships. The only fish I kept had 9 hooks in its gut. I signed the treaty with fish hooks, sided with the risen knuckle, hung a bouquet of raccoon skulls over the door, made a rattle out of Uncle Sam's teeth and an aspirin bottle. Of his mistresses I am most fair. I coat his bass drum with Vaseline and ash. I name the stars on his neck after yet-to-be-declared battles. Shriek formal, begonia folly, march of the stricken goose. He summons a bugle from air, clubs me on the knee, and plays a song twice the length it takes blood to cake to sap on skin. His laughing ribs grind a whale song. The boy who asks why they leave the sky off of maps. He kicks my shin when I tell him they ran out of blue ink. What about the sun, then, and the moon, I ask. He wails. I tell him he's free to draw his own map of the sky, and he mispronounces ridiculous. Our heads tilt on their axes as we look at each other, down to the floor, back to each other, maybe because nobody lives there. His grandmother lives there, many dogs. I realize how far behind I am. He starts to bounce. I make pocket change music. Sweat rivers down my back. The maps would be too heavy. The maps would be too light. They'd have to make a legend for snowstorms. Because, I don't know, because they don't know the mileage. We sit in the question for hours. Because it only means the world to him. I blurt, I've got it. I finally got it. That would be the part you put pins in order to fix the world to your wall. You can't pin the sky. The pins would be so many birds, he says. This is from Jimmie Louie's Bald Remembrances. I'm like Buddy Holly and the Trix Rabbit wrapped up in one. I'm a better narrator than Dusk. Dusk is mostly gas, whereas I'm a heap of Greco-Roman chiseled superflesh. I rub butter on my muscles and break plates over them for hours. I brand myself and feel sorry for the iron. It runs on electricity. I don't. Birds fly into me and die. My old man is paperboy emeritus of Cleveland's East Side. My old man likes the smell of empty bars. My old man has a few, heads to the pet shop, and asks them to put a parrot on his shoulder. My old man can coat a house with 2 gallons and a stolen ladder. My old man has a hole in each hand where his brothers go. My old man grabs his tongue, milks the taste of dimes. My old man stinks of scrambled eggs and Haynes auto manuals and can kick your old man's ass. I come from a long line of punches, a snuff tin filled with quarters, an arsonist grocery clerk, and a flasher. I come from Bob Golick's mullet and a van with racing stripes. I come from skin magazines in the shrubs, a lot of stealing, the drunk who took a left into the ice cream stand, and the sprinkles in the employee's wet hair. How upsetting it must be for worms after rain. Nobody likes being pounded out to the sidewalk where I come from, which is 1 part diving board, 2 parts salt breeze, and the rest lighter fluid. This is from Stop It, Crown. Captain Dust, Captain Duet, Captain Dulcimer, dull captain biffing through the curtain. Lights, America, the dead won't change you. It's you. You change them with each swallow. Your tail gets smellier. A standard falls from your forehead. Dip a claw into the promised land while my anxiety reanimates every taxidermied beast. United States of Tentacle, triplet the snow off your boots. I have a taste for glass. A temporary morgue was set up somewhere on the school grounds. Now was not the time to talk about what red glows from the attic. A hand shouldn't explode. Cheap tricks shouldn't come on. Nobody should wake up covered in disease. In fall, most sincere form of money, we 10 out in fat-ass dark. Our teeth flash like America's ghost meat, and we forgot to pay the water bill. You're right. We shouldn't pony up for anything that covers more than half our body, when in supervised woods we can name the hurricanes on our thumbs, issue as a warning a Cadillac. When the dead think of America, they lose their stench. Oh, scentless skeletons, when my love thinks of America, does she have new arms, flexible as stems? Flowers, ugh. When flowers think of America, they get performance anxiety. When Paul Simon thinks of America, he slips a matchstick into his mouth, stares out over Central Park, and sees an acoustic sex act. When Tony Soprano thinks of America, he hears the dread quack quack. When my soul thinks of America, it becomes Dan Deerdorf broadcasting a fever dream. When handguns think of America, they sing the number song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When Lincoln thinks of America, does he turn to verse? Probably not. He probably walks the root system of an oak, silvering up the leaves, like a typewriter thinking of America that taps some ampersands in a line off the margin and into infinity, which is always to your right, or someone more beautiful than you should be, looking you in the eye but thinking of herons. These are from my book report on the Afterlife. There is a creek in Euclid called Crayfish Chorus. I know that pudding water better than I do my sister. My body, caution tape in a cemetery that it is, publishes a magazine on the bone sad as it sets in during the stupid part of summer when Bush plays the river bend. Peanut vendors laminated with sweat. You've seen a hose loll with potato bugs and perk at the nozzles turning, yes? It's like that with its shirt on inside out. I have pallbearer anxiety, what with my hand condition. I did my book report on the Afterlife. It's an endless bank, every teller's face consomme. Now I sit in the surf with Chris until a red moon slips out and sinks us down to the good sand they make into hospital bricks. Grandpa was a traveling mirror salesman. He'd knock and hold them before his body. If the customer did a double take or laughed, it was top shelf, ribs, and strange that night. He had his casket lined with pockets. He wore red suits in black and white photos. When it set in, Momo said, "It's humid as dicks on Turkey Day." Tony Pepperoni whispered through the grape fence, "I taste lightning. Turn your bikes upside down, then run. May we all snap like sausages done right. May emergency broadcasts interrupt Aerosmith forevermore. Show me one flashlight that isn't fumbled for. File into the hall, fall on your knees, cover your head. Imagine peanut butter, the creaming of your house. So swim, then sleep like ashes." I'm just trying to be 33 on a humid as dicks Wednesday. Learn how to pronounce spaghetti already, kids on sprung seahorses. Pop your water wings and swim out to our lagoon. We have a letdown for you. It begins in the eels. It begins in the musk wet docks cough up. You say sliver, I say splinter, we all say bone sad into an unplugged box fan. These are from a longer piece called Husks. An unemployed straw man, fitful in the preacher's Rolodex, rolls over on his cot and taps out a message to the wise. The mouth is a hatchery. Our skin makes us chuckle like a king prodigious at drawing battle plans, and I refuse to insult force by wondering how long it takes water to bore through slabs of rock. Let's go to that bit of lemon rind wedged in the atlas. The terror of quiet suburbs at night. Clean lines, adequate light. The flag makes slurping noises. Lighting a bowl full of Roman candles makes me feel less like a kerchief of spinach and a mannequin's tooth. I apologized to caskets as a child. A cavalier orange leaf falls in the official world. Most lost boats find the shore, lets them down.